Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Snack. We've got live tournament action coming at you, and this is the first semifinal in tonight's Open Arena tournament. It is going to be everybody's favorite Terran players. It is Zabro and Matty. Both of these guys do already have an invite to our monthly tournament, so we will already see them there, each and every last one of these two individuals. But it is going to be a TvT here. Zabro and Matty. I'm fairly excited for this one. Matty shows so much strength, man. You know, a lot of people dislike his gameplay because he tends to go very, very fast aggression. Sometimes it's kind of all-in type play early on, and then even if it gets held off, it's like he comes back somehow and still wins. And, you know, some people get kind of frustrated. I guess they put themselves in his opponent's shoes and say to themselves, how frustrating would it be to be in this position versus this guy who's like apparently got this alligator blood, won't go down for the life of us, you know, won't die for the life of me, and there's just nothing I can do is what it feels like sometimes. But I'll tell you, that speaks to the level of play that we've got here in Matty. He's really a good player when it comes down to it. Those strategies that he uses, which we might consider cheese, and I mean, I'll go so far as to call some of it cheese, and a lot of it I do consider all-in type strategies. But sometimes all-in is the right play. I mean, in poker, when you go all-in and you get called and you win, you just double up your money. And that's, I think, sometimes the right play. So all-in is not necessarily a bad thing, but notice that for Zabro, we do have a barracks going down in fairly decent style. Looks like Matty doing the same type of deal. Let's see if we can find it there. There we go. So pretty good stuff, though, from both of these players. We have seen Zabro, I believe. I think Zabro actually did beat Matty when he won his code, if I remember correctly. I'll have to go check that match history, but I think it may be the case. I think it may be. Looks like we got a couple people out there on the live stream already rooting for good old Zabro, but Snow says that he thinks Matty is going to win. But Zabro's really good, man. He's a professional player on the European server. I think he's a GM on the European server. So Zabro is not a joke. He is very, very good. He is a diamond on the American server. That always cracks me up. How he's a diamond here and he's like a GM on the European server. He just doesn't ladder very much on the American server. So he uses it for tournaments. But it looks like a couple barracks going down for both players. We've got the second barracks here for Zabro going down, and for Matty, not going to be the same type of deal. He is going to grab out a Tech Lab and now working on a Reaper. Reaper will be cruising out across the field. Notice that Zabro did catch wind of it with his SCV. Wants to see what's going on. Does have a Marine here back at the backside at the ready to try and stave off any of those Reapers. And look at this, Matty going for an early little command center. He's got his Reaper queued up with motion here. Here comes your SCV. The SCV cruising through. Wants to see what's going on. He's going to try and attack his fellow SCV. Actually, he's not really a fellow. He is the opposite of a fellow. He is an enemy. He's attacking the enemy SCV. Zabro with a double barracks right now is going to be working on some Tech Lab. Here comes your Reaper. Reaper to the backside, maybe? No, looks like Matty can't quite figure out which way he wants to go. I don't blame him, man. That's always a tough choice because all it takes is one wrong move and the Reapers do die very, very quickly. So it looks like he is going to go right up the middle. Nope, he's going to the back. Going to the back. Zabro does not have anybody back here quite yet. He switched it up. He put his Marines up there because he thought that that's where they were going to be. But look at this. The reinforcements for Zabro showing up just in time, and he does pick up the kill without losing any Marines. The Marine down to 9 HP, but that works for me, man. He is still alive. Looks to be in great shape, and here comes the Reaper of Zabro. And the Reaper going to try and cruise around. Wants to get some scouting intel in more than anything. But look at this. He does see the starport going down. Great scouting from Zabro. Now this is going to make a big difference as we move forward. I love it. So he sees the starport going down. He sees the two Tech Labs here. Can assume at this point that there's at least the outside chance that we're going to see some Banshees out on the field. And look at this. It's a reactor, however, for Matty on this starport. And he's currently going to be working on a tank from this Tech Lab on the factory there. Kind of an interesting play. Zabro does get his orbital command up and running here pretty quick too as well. Not too far behind Matty there. Matty did jump the gun on it just a little bit. Not jump the gun so much as rush it. Did a great job with it. So Beautiful play, though, from both of these guys so far. I love the scouting, and I love the unit composition here from Zabro. He's got a bunch of Marines now out on the field. He's going to keep track of his base there fairly well. I could still see him putting a couple units down here in this position. I think would be fairly helpful. But that Reaper did live, does have the 1 kill, and it looks like we're going to endure a push here. Zabro going to be moving forward, and Matty may not quite be prepared for this. He does have the 1 tank out on the field. Siege Tech is on the way, but it is not going to be complete in time to stave off these guys. And it looks like the Reaper is going to join the fight. Here we go. Attack time it is. Marine's going to go down there fairly quickly. Matty going to lose his tanks here potentially. Notice that we do have these SCVs being pulled. Siege Tech is still not quite complete. Repairs going down on the tanks. Looks like we're just taking out SCVs right now. Nicely done there from Zabro. Did pick up quite a few kills. No tank kills, however, and that is going to put Zabro ahead in the tech. A little bit ahead in the tech there. What can I tell you? But mules coming down here for Matty yet again. Supply counts here fairly even. Units tab going to show that we are almost dead even there on the economies. Got to love that. And it looks like Zabro is going to be backing out here. I'm trying to figure out where he's going to go with his play. Notice that he is going to be grabbing out some medevacs. And we've got a factory, but not going to be utilizing it. Oh, there we go. There goes your tech lab. Okay, so it is going to be some tanks here. I was wondering, man, what is Zabro going to do to deal with the tanks? Is he really going to go for mass Marauder potentially? I was thinking that might be a decent idea, but we've seen that happen before where you get a lot of Marauders and Marines and try and take on tanks, and it can be fairly effective, but sometimes the safest play is to just go for tank versus tank. And yeah, we'll see. We will see. Looks like your barracks here. Another barracks going to be going down. A couple more, and we're going to go for a drop on Zabro's side. I like it. And guess what? Matty is going to be prepared. He does have a Viking out here. Going to be on patrol. Should be able to catch wind of this. We'll see if Zabro is going to get lucky or not. Not quite yet. No way to tell, right? No way to tell, but smart play here for Matty. Always at the ready. Yeah, he's going to catch wind of it. Dropping him, dropping him. And the Viking doesn't quite go down. But this drop is not going too terribly bad either, so the medevac here is a little bit shy on HP. One Marine up here to scout. We do have a bunch of siege tanks for Matty for defense. Matty going to be holding on to that pretty well. Does hold off that drop in phenomenal style. Now back here at Zabro's base, he does finally have some tanks of his own out on the field. They do have siege tech complete, so probably going to see him siege up at least 1 or 2 of these here in just a few. Would be interested to see. But Zabro and Matty, I mean, what can I tell you guys? How excited am I for this matchup? And I want to hear who you guys think is going to win. Let's take a moment out there on the live stream. I want to see you press 1 if you think Zabro is going to win. Press 2 if you think Matty is going to win. And I'm interested to see. Let's take kind of a poll. Get kind of a little bit of guessing games out there. Now it's a best of 3. You got to remember that. And here we are in game number 1, and it is anybody's game. Zabro moving out across the field, and I disagree with this. I think that Matty has got phenomenal defensive position, but Zabro is doing this, I think, more than anything to buy himself time out on his side of the field. See, he's not even going to commit. He's backing out here. He's doing it to buy himself time to take this 3rd. Now, that's not a bad little play there. Not a bad little play. Now, it's going to come down to his ability to back out here because Matty is saying, you know what, I actually do want to engage, and so I think I may actually start moving forward here. And he's got a lot of tanks at the ready, and I think that an attack from Matty at this point could be devastating to Zabro, especially with good tank placement. Would like to see Zabro start sieging some tanks up, though, in a defensive position. Maybe take the center of the map is not a bad idea. And it looks like Matty does catch wind of this. We'll see if Zabro is going to evac. Oh, my goodness. He's got air superiority here. Tank sieging up there fairly quickly. Looks like Zabro playing it cool. Taking down a couple kills while he can, is going to start kiting back. We should see him put down a couple more siege tanks here in a defensive position, but he does not have air superiority, which is going to make it difficult. He's going to have to rely on his Marines and Marauder here to keep the vision for the tanks necessary to take down Matty's army. Matty's army here in pretty decent position. Scan going down. Looks like Stim going down as well. And Zabro in pretty decent shape there, actually. These guys going to get blasted away for just a moment, but this tank sieging up in pretty good shape. Good blast from Zabro. This is really favoring Zabro right now. This tank not going to last much longer. He does get 1 kill, though. However, from his scan, and Zabro cruising forward there with just a couple Marines. He does hold on to this 1 tank. Not bad positioning, but he does need to be careful. And notice that both of these guys holding the Xel'Naga Tower is a super important thing to do. It gives you so much extra vision for your tanks when you do that. So beautiful play. Looks like we are going to see the attack continue here from Zabro. Oh my goodness, Zabro does have a pretty decent position. I just think that Matty has kind of got him outclassed here. He's got more tanks. Oof. Going to be killing a lot of Marines there. Free kills always count. But here comes Matty. He's going to be cruising forward, taking out a couple tanks, but it looks like Zabro still has got the better of him there in the center. Did take out a lot of units there. I'm not sure who's really ahead at this point. Units lost is going to favor Matty. Not by tons, but I mean, it's definitely significant. I mean, it's not something that we can just snub our nose at this point. Interesting. So checking the live stream here, we've got a lot of people that think that Matty's going to win. A lot of people that think Zabro is going to win. So I'm interested to see. This will be kind of fun. Zabro he's really got some nice play style. We've got to give him that. Notice he's going to be going for a drop here. He doesn't even care that there's a sensor tower. The Marines now packing up together. Looks like they're going to stim and should be able to take down quite a few of these Marines. Siege going down, though, for Matty, and looks like they will get cleaned up there. Zabro going to try and evac one of these guys. Not a bad deal. Here comes the attack in the center. Tanks sieging up here, but Matty a little bit slow, and it looks like Zabro does clean those out there fairly quickly. One of the things I want to mention, though, very quickly is that Zabro does have 3 bases, and that's something that Matty cannot say at this point. He is trying to secure a 3rd here. Eventually, he's got that command center built, but unable to move it out quite yet. Notice that the units tab are extremely even. And for the economy, you've got basically the same number of SCVs, but Matty has been mining these a lot longer, these 2 bases, and they're going to get mined out much faster. You can see that Zabro's main, even though it's relatively low, it is not quite as low as the other main, and this base actually in fairly decent shape. And compared to this one, you can see that these guys are getting quite a bit lower. Some of these patches already almost mined out. Looks like Zabro may get caught off guard here. Sieging up first, however, looks like he should be in decent position to get some good tank shots off first. And indeed he does, and Matty taking some fairly severe losses here. Nice and quick. And Zabro cleaning this up very, very well. Wow, he obliterated his opponent's army there, I think, in many regards, and is now going to cruise forward to check and see if there is a 3rd. Currently, there is not. Matty has still got it kicking it here. It is an orbital command. He could fly this sucker out just about any moment, but so far, it is not moving. We're just utilizing it for mules. Scan going down here for Zabro, wants to see what's going on, and here comes your attack. Tanks sieged up in fairly decent style. Here comes your reinforcements. Matty could be in a lot of trouble here. Zabro very, very quickly turning the tables on Matty, and is now in this position where he's got way more tanks than his opponent. Matty having trouble finding a way to engage this many tanks, and you can see Zabro cruising forward with all of these Marines. He does have +2, +1 on these Marines, and that is beautiful upgrades. He's got +1 on his tanks. Matty's trying to siege some tanks up here, but these guys are going to get blasted away. This one's still in a decent position. Stimming forward, Matty trying to hold this off, but the tanks here from Zabro still doing so much damage. He's just shy on the Marines right now, and he's trying to keep these guys alive. He's dropping them here and there. You can see Matty dropping some Marines right in front of his opponent's tanks. That's not a bad little deal. Does take out 1 tank because of that. Nicely done, though. I tell you, Zabro is way ahead right now. Way ahead indeed, but Matty is not out of the game quite yet. But we are going to see Zabro really beefing up his ability to reinforce this position. He's put down quite a few marina-producing structures. Here comes your main force of reinforcements. It's a lot of Marines, and now they're stimming up to the top, to the high ground. Looks like this tank is not going to be enough to hold them on, and there's the GG from Matty. Beautiful play. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Zabro takes down game number 1. We'll be going into game number 2 here in just a moment. So don't alt-tab, always alt-Starcraft. We'll catch you guys then. Welcome Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have that live tournament action continuing here on MLG's Tall Dream Altar. It is Matty and Zabro battling it out here yet again. Zabro taking down game number 1 in this best-of-3 semifinal. In a beautiful show of strength, he held on, I think, against Matty's very early tanks so extremely well, and then was able to kind of eke out the upgrade advantage over time, as well as was very smart to take that early third, I think. Really helped him out, and when it came down to it, Matty started to feel a little bit nervous. He felt like, oh man, my main is about to be mined out. I've got to secure a third, and Zabro kept enough pressure on him to keep him from doing so. It really came down to that. So beautiful play there from Zabro. Here in game number 2, the pressure is going to be on Matty. He's got to take this one down, otherwise he will not advance to the finals. It's going to give Zabro the possibility to get another entry code that he can give away to a friend or something. But Matty's got one as well, so both these guys already in the monthly, but obviously you want to make it into the finals today because there's still a cash prize today. $15 for first place, $5 for second, and I mean, you play a lot here to you know, make it happen. So you want to make it, want to do it. But it looks like our spawn positions are going to be on the left side of this map. Zabro is our green Terran. He's kicking it up here in the top left-hand side. Matty in the bottom left. He is red Terran. And, ooh, I better go check that bracket real quick. Looks like these guys are kind of reminding me. Somebody... Yeah, in fact, what you guys could do, if you would for me, will you please, somebody go contact Cheetah, if at all possible, and just tell him to make sure and not play without me. Actually, I'll just do it. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to do it right now. There we go. We'll just ping him real quick while we have a second. Thanks for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. So back up here at Zabro's base, we do have a wall off starting to go down. Notice he is tossing down a Rax in kind of a funky position here. While it is a little bit closer, it's not tons closer than just putting it at your wall off, but I mean, he did rush it a little bit. Oh my goodness, factory going down. How very interesting. Zabro being the aggressor here, he's going to go for some shenanigans. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to do, but it looks like it is going to be some sort of a Hellion play, maybe? That's what my guess is at this point. Yeah, we do have a reactor going down, so that is probably what it's going to be, is a reactored Hellion play moving forward. Over here at Matty's base, it is 2 Racks. Who would have guessed that? From the 2 Racks King, right? He's made a great name for himself, I'll tell you that, though. Even if people hate him, you've got to admit that Matty is a good player, a great player, and quite honestly deserves a lot of the wins that he does take down. So, I mean, it's tons of fun to watch him. It can be frustrating, I think, at times to watch, but when it comes down to it, you've got to remember that this guy is doing what it takes to make those wins happen. So here comes his scout. He is going to cruise in here. He's not going to see anything going down. Here goes a starport in the back. Supply depot going down here. And it looks like your barracks now are going to fly out back over to this position. Here comes your first 2 Hellions. So we better watch these guys. But it looks like it is going to be Hellion play here from Zabro. Good bunch of Marines already on the field. We'll see if these guys are going to be able to do the damage necessary. Against 2 Racks, man, you got to be careful. It's going to come down to good control. 1 Hellion disappears immediately. And now the tech pattern here for Zabro has been revealed to Matty. And Matty is trying to secure a second base, but he does have his 2 Racks at the ready. He's going to toss down a third. Knows to go headlong into the potential for you know, mass Hellion play. Mass Hellions could be coming out here pretty quick. More Hellions are on the way. Looks like these guys are going to cruise around to the backside. Going to try and maybe get a little flank on these Marines. Oh my goodness. Look at this. They're sliding their way into the main, and Matty was unable to get that wall up in time. Looks like we may pick up a decent amount of worker kills. Nicely done. He does pick up a pretty decent, pretty fair amount. What can I say? Not bad at all. And going to try for a Marine kill or 2. Still doing a pretty decent job. Definitely cost effective at this point. And that looks like that is it for the Hellions, but nicely done. He did pick up some good kills. Let's see how many he did kill. 9 workers killed means those Hellions were extremely cost effective. That is going to put Matty slightly behind there for just a moment. But let's take a look at the units tab and see if that is indeed the case. Actually, Matty is the one who's behind. Because of that early play, he did rush that. It did cost him quite a few SCVs in production. Oh no, I'm getting that wrong. Zabro is green. My goodness. Okay, so Zabro is way ahead. Yeah, that did put Matty behind. Now, so that was interesting. I was like, how did Zabro screw that up, man? He's only at 17. But no, that is Matty's count there. Whew. Almost got that one dead wrong. Cool, cool, cool. I'm glad I caught that. Looks like your Hellions cruising back in here again. I'm going to clear these guys out for just a moment. Workers killed. Still. Oh, he picked up one more there. Picked up one more. Not gonna be able to get tons done at this point for these Hellions. I mean, they're not going to get back into this base. Nice play to have this wall up for Matty, and the bunker positioning here is pretty nice as well. Zabro, in the meantime, has secured his natural. Almost got it complete, and that's going to be really good for him. He needs to have that down. It is a little bit delayed because of his early kind of Hellion rush there, but you got to do what you got to do. Looks like the supply depot is in jeopardy. Hellions here, though, 2 of them do go down. Oh, but all of the units here go down. There's only these SCVs here. Forward defense. Here comes a couple Marines. Looks like they will be able to clean these Hellions up fairly quickly. But that that burned down there. No heal going down on the poor supply depot. That opens that wall up there. Pretty good. Zabro now does have his next orbital command on the way, and he's building a heck of a lot more barracks at this point. So nicely done. He has kind of abandoned his factory for now. He's going to kind of transition out of that, it appears. But going forward now, his stim pack looks to be in good shape. It's second tech lab going down. Probably going to see maybe a couple Marauders in his army for now, just in case his opponent starts to transition into tanks and gets caught off guard there. It's good to have a couple Marauders in there when possible against those tanks. Cool, we've got your starport complete here for Zabro. Excuse me for just a moment. Sorry about that dead time. I just had to get some moisture in my throat. Got to get a little bit of juice in me before I die a very painful death. Looks like an SCV scout here for Matty, trying to figure out what's going on. He did see the expand, does see only 2 Marines there. That may make him think, hey, this might be a good time for an attack. But I don't think that is actually going to be a great idea. Now Zabro cruising back in here with a couple more Hellions, really keeping the pressure on his opponent's economy here. I love this play from him. Just sliding by that bunker. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful play. And a good scan going down here for Matty. He wants to see what's going on. He is going to see those barracks there. Bear barracks. I mean, bear meaning without a reactor, without an add-on of any kind. And we do have that. Let's see. Combat shield is almost complete. Stim pack is almost complete. I think Zabro is going to be in phenomenal shape as he moves forward here. He does have that one medevac that is nearly dead out on the field. He is way ahead in the supply count. Units tab going to show 35 SCVs to 29 SCVs on Matty's side of the map. So Zabro in phenomenal economic position. He's also got an army advantage, and quite frankly, I think has got the all-in-all lead at this point. Another factor going down here for Zabro. He's going to have quite a few units out on this field, man. He's got good unit production capability. I would like to see him start to gear up for a third. At least tossing down another command center would be a smart idea at this point. Here comes your push from Matty. He is going to give it the old college try here. A lot of Hellions, a lot of Marines here. Looks like these guys are going to get cleaned up there fairly quick. Matty going to have to back out. Zabro picking up some serious kills in serious good time. And he's cruising this way. He's going to catch these guys off guard there. They're stimming to try and get away. Not quite going to happen. The Hellions, they're so fast, able to pick these guys off. They're pretty good. A lot of extra kills for him. And now, oh, look at this. Zabro now in also great position to go ahead and go for the attack. He's got to wait on his Marines. Once these Marines get here, it looks like it is going to be go time. But notice that we do have a lot of SCVs at the ready. It's going to come down to micro. Is Zabro going to be able to kill off these SCVs in sufficient time to keep them from getting good, solid repair on these bunkers? Looks like he's going to give it the old college try. Trying to focus down the bunker. Nope, he is going to have to back out. Great repairs there for Matty, holding on for dear life. Zabro is, though, significantly ahead in the supply count. In production right now, we do have tanks for Matty. I think a smart play, since he is going to have to kind of turtle up here. He's kind of stuck on this two-base play for a few moments. He's got to hold this down. It's like a small drop going down here for Zabro. He's able to pick up a couple kills, not too much. But it looks like Matty in decent shape to hold on there. Oh, and look at that. The bunker does go down. Now, that is big here for Zabro. Zabro probably going to grab the rest of his forces and start moving them out across the map here and go for another attack here in just a moment. I take that back. Now that there's tanks out on the field, he is going to have to consider a new tech pattern to deal with those tanks. So we'll see how he's going to proceed, though. I imagine we are going to see some tanks of our own on Zabro's side of the map. There is one right there. He is grabbing that siege tech. Looks to be in great shape. Still no third, though. I really would like to see a third go down for Zabro. It's one thing that I think he's kind of lacking in his current strategy. And I mean, two-base play versus two-base play is always relatively safe if you're ahead. But see, the trouble is if he does get caught off guard somehow, Matty gets a couple extra, good shots off with his tanks, obliterates his opponent's army, and could potentially turn the tide. Then Zabro would be wishing that he had taken a third. So a third, I think, is probably the best play here. Does see just the two tanks, and is going to take this opportunity to move up to the high ground, maybe? Oh, that tank disappeared fairly quick. But here comes the attack nonetheless from Zabro. He is going to give it a lot of stim here. He's moving forward, taking down a lot of tanks. He did obliterate these SCVs that were pulled. The last tank does go down, and Zabro still with some forces out on the field. Taking down your mules, taking down now the orbital command. He looks like he's going to try and focus down, but here comes the last attack from Matty. He's got two more tanks, a couple more marines, and Zabro is going to have to back out. But I still think that attack went extremely well for Zabro. Matty's holding on for dear life still. The nice thing for him is that he still has good tank production. If he didn't have this tank production two at a time, he would be in just too much trouble to be dealing with it here. But two tanks at a time may be able to help him hold on. Notice that Zabro is finally catching wind of the idea that a potential new extra base is going to be helpful. He's tossing one down here at his back pocket expansion, or back door expansion, or I guess I'm not sure what to call that one. A pocket expansion. It's not really a back pocket because it's not connected, but good positioning nonetheless. It's going to keep it out of range of Matty's quick movement out across the field, which is a nice little play. Good transfer headed that way, and Zabro going to be moving forward with another attack. He does have a lot of tanks headed this way, and Matty could potentially be stuck with a GG scenario here in a moment. Notice that Matty going to try and get his tank sieged up in the best possible line. I like that little siege line there. I like the positioning of this one on the cliff. With good vision, I would like to see him hang one of his air units or something over here just to give him a little bit of extra vision. Does he even have any? I don't see that he's got any air units. No, he's got one. I would like to see him hang it over there. To be honest, I think that would be the best thing for him. But it looks like Zabro does skirt that position anyway, so it's going to just come in handy for defending this little position here, which is not bad. But Zabro is at the ready. Looks like he may go for a serious drop to the backside of the main. Indeed he does. Not taking any tanks with it. It's just going to be the Marines here. But if he takes out a lot of these SCVs, that's going to be bad news here for Matty. Notice he's dropping these guys in a line. Wants to do as much damage as he can. He's going to spread that damage out where possible. We do have a couple of Vikings now out on the field. For Matty is going to be sniping a couple of these medevacs, but I don't think Zabro really has any intention of picking those guys up and evacuating them. He just wants to kill SCVs, wants to keep Matty producing military units while losing his SCVs, and having to reproduce SCVs is not a good deal for him at this point. So he's got good defensive posture here, but the third here for Zabro is kicking in high gear, and that is really going to make moving forward for Zabro easy, breezy, squeezy, lemon peasy, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful. What can I tell you? So, I mean, Zabro looking to go 2 games in a row here in this best of 3. Wow. Zabro's really showing a lot of strength tonight, I think. And Matty is just so difficult to deal with sometimes. Absolutely a good player. He's got that alligator blood. Scout here for Matty is going to reveal the forward position of Zabro. Does see the 5 tanks in that army. It's going to be nice intel for him. Notice that he's got a pretty decent amount of tanks of his own to combat this, but absolutely is going to have to be careful. Let's just check in on that units tab. 63 SCVs to 37. Zabro way ahead. He is on the 3 base, now 4. He's transferring some units over to his 4th base. He's taking this position, the new main over here. That's going to go completely unchecked here, is my guess. But Zabro with a nice forward position. That's Cheetah Prime, by the way, if you guys were wondering who that was. Cheetah Prime is saying that his opponent has been logged off for a while. So we'll check that out. If he's still logged off when I get out of this game, then we'll just go ahead and forfeit him, which will mean we'll go right into a final. But it looks like Matty is going to gear up for an attack. He does have a lot of tanks now out on the field. Zabro going to need to be very, very careful here. That's a lot of tanks. It comes down to micro in these type of scenarios. Now, Zabro is sieged up in great position. He should just barely be catching wind of this. Yes, he is. He catches wind of it. Is going to back out immediately. You're going to see him put himself in a nice position here. Probably going to see him start sieging his tanks up right now. Matty did get the jump on him. Did get a slight jump on him there, but Zabro does have the advantage in the numbers, I think, still. He's got a lot of Marines back here. Oh, he's calling down mules to kill off tanks. That's funny. I love it. Calling down mules right next to the tanks makes the tanks blast them. Kind of fun little deal to do. It cracks me up, though, I tell you. Oh, man. Stuff like that is so funny to me. It's like that and banglings, they just crack me up. It's just hilarious. I can't even tell you why, but Zabro is in phenomenal shape here, I think. He's got +1/+1 on his Marines. He does have +2/+2 about to be complete, but he cannot wait for that. He's going to go, stimming forward here. Tanks blasting away here, but Matty going to lose a lot of units here. His entire army is dissolving to Zabro's push. Zabro almost maxed out here. He's only 30 supply behind, maxed out. And it looks like Matty backing out. He's going to have a couple tanks here at the ready for defense, but I'll tell you, man, Zabro is in such phenomenal shape right now. Notice that we do have +1/+1 on the Marines for Matty. These tanks not sieging up in time. It looks like Zabro will catch him a little bit off guard. All your SCVs are being pulled here from Matty. Is Zabro going to be able to take all these guys down? It appears that he is. Still so many Marines and tanks out on the field. Not even have time to siege these guys up. And Zabro pushing forward. And there's your GG from Matty. 2-0 for Zabro. Absolutely well done. He is going to be moving on into the finals. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't alt tab, always alt Starcraft. We will see you guys in just a bit.